I'm super excited to share with you a recipe that is not only mouth-watering but also incredibly easy to make and can be filled with different fillings. Today we are going to be making tuna puffs, Trinidad style. These puffs are perfect for any occasion, whether you're looking for a quick snack, a party appetizer, or just something new to try out in your kitchen. This recipe promises to be a detailed recipe. Have you ever made puff shells and they just fall flat and you just can't get it right? Well, this recipe was designed to help you. So why does your puff shells fall flat every single time? You did everything right. You followed the recipe to the letter. You measured every single gram. You brought the water to a rolling boil. You perfected it. You probably even bought a new thermometer. But yet, when it comes out, it still falls flat and it looks very sad. We are going to start off by making the panad, which is the first cooked flour base. Let's add the water. The reason why your puffs fall flat when they come out of the oven actually happens way before they go into the oven, and we're going to discuss that as we go along. So as you add the water, you want to add some butter and you want to scrape it all out. And the butter is our fat. You want to add some salt, and if you check in the description box, the entire recipe is going to be there waiting for you. We added sugar because we want the puff shells to have a nice golden brown color. You want to mix this, and we're going to allow it to come up to a rolling boil before we move ahead. And this should take just about 3 minutes on medium heat. Our water is now coming up to a nice boil, and we are going to make sure that our foundation, the panade, is perfect and sets the pace for a massive rise in our puff shells. And this is a point where you want to add the flour. In goes the flour, and you want to start cooking this. You have to get this section right. It won't clump up together because the butter in there is our fat. And I'm cooking it on a lower heat. As the flour soaks up all the fat, the sugar, the salt, and the water, it's gonna start pulling away from our pan. And as long as it pulls away perfectly and you have a nice film, or even roll it into a ball, that's the perfect foundation, and you have already set the pace for a really high quality puff shells. When you're making the panade or even the pâté choux, or overall the puff shells, you're actually cooking the flour twice. You're baking it and you're cooking it in a pan. I am using a non-stick pan, so you will realize with a non-stick pan it's going to pull away easily. It does not mean that the panade is cooked. So what I do to measure this is that when I'm using a non-stick pan, I allow it to fold into a ball. This has to be cooked for about 4 to 5 minutes. It's coming together quite nicely, and we may not see the film because this is a really good quality non-stick pan. But once you are using a pan that is not non-stick, the entire bottom just here will have a slight film, and I have another recipe on my channel that you can take a look at. So with this, what I do, I just roll it into a nice ball because it has already been about 5 minutes. This is where you want to stop. Turn this off and transfer this into a bowl to cool. While the panade is cooling, because it has to cool down, otherwise it will scramble the eggs and you don't want that, we're going to make a really nice tuna paste to pair with our puff shells. 2 cans of tuna, half cup of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of chopped onions, 1 tablespoon of green bell pepper, 1 heaping tablespoon of red bell pepper. If you have pimento, you could go ahead and put that in there. About a tablespoon of chopped parsley for some color and some freshness. About 3 tablespoons of green onions chopped. And we are almost finished. Now I'm going to add a good dash of my favorite hot sauce, and you can add the favorite hot sauce that you like. We're mixing it first before we add the salt. And if you want to put black pepper in it, you can, but I'm not going to put any black pepper because I already have my favorite hot sauce in there. The idea is to make it very colorful and appetizing. So we're going to taste for salt. I'm just going to add enough salt just to balance. Just a little pinch to bring it together, as the canned tuna already has salt. So this is done, and let's get back to our pâté choux. Okay, so this is a moment where it can go wrong or it can go right. So I have 4 eggs. Am I going to necessarily be using 4 eggs? I am not quite sure. Most recipes will tell you that you should use 4 eggs, but 4 eggs will vary based on the temperature of your environment and the size of the eggs, etc. So if I put in 3 eggs and I do the test, which you don't want to miss, and it comes out to the perfect consistency, then I would want to stop. If it's too dry, which I will know, I will tell you how to guide if your pâté choux is going to be too dry or not, then I will add more. The first step is to make sure that your panade is cool enough to the touch. Other than that, you will get a nice bowl of scrambled eggs. So we want to avoid that. I'm going to break it up a little bit. And now I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. Once I start to mix this, it's going to begin to create a fit. It's going to create a tantrum. But that's okay, as long as you mix it according to this instruction, then it's going to come back together and you're going to get it right. So fear not. On a low speed. If you are mixing this with your hand, you have a lot of work to do, but make sure that you are mixing it in completely, 1 egg at a time, and move on. Second egg. Oops, 2 eggs fell. So with these 2 eggs, I would have to make sure that it's mixed in properly before I move on. So after these, I will do the test. To know if it's going to pipe properly, you want to lift it up and it's not falling. It's still too dry. This is a very dry puff shells. So 1 more egg should do it, and if 1 egg does not do it, then I will have to add another egg. So to just say 4 eggs is going to be enough can just be setting you up for failure. At this stage, it's too tough. 4 eggs did not do it. So what I will do, I will add about another half of egg. At this stage, I'm going to be very, very careful with how much I add, because I could add, but I can't take away. And we have come to that juncture where we have the perfect consistency. What I will do is to put my spatula in, and once I pull it, it makes a V and it closes back. It also hugs the spoon. It means that once I pipe it, I am going to get those beautiful pipe marks and the perfect consistency inside. So we have our paste, our choux paste
in a big piping bag, and we are using an Ateco 857. If you don't have a piping tip, you don't have to use one. We're going to pipe these 2 inches diameter away from the edge because they're going to puff up. Now we're going to overlap, and we're going to come up, and you just want to spin it out. It's really not about how many eggs you put in, but it's about getting the right consistency. Our puffs are beautifully piped, and as you can see, they have the perfect consistency because they were not very difficult to pipe. From here, you want to tap your finger in just a little bit of water, and you want to tap the tips because you don't want them to burn. While they are baking, I'm going to show you the right temperature and some technique to get the steam going, because you want the steam to begin activating the eggs, and that is what gives it that nice puffiness and the hollowness inside. The eggs work the magic. For the egg wash, I am using the other half of the egg that we used in the mixture, and I have 1 tablespoon of water. You can use a ratio of 1 egg to 1 tablespoon of water if you don't have enough eggs. We are going to gently brush our puff shells, and the egg is going to make it nice and shiny. Once you have a nice shiny glossy paste that has a decent flow, you know that you're heading in the right direction. We are relying on the eggs as our leavening agent when you're doing puffs, and the steam, the eggs will begin to steam inside, and then it's going to puff up and give you that hollowness on the inside. To help me get some more steam going, I'm going to spray these before I pop them in the oven. I'm going to pop them in the oven at 380 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to show you how to get them to stay up stiff. And this is going to create that extra steam. So let's pop them in the oven. After 45 minutes, you want to get something sharp as a toothpick or something sharp like this, and you want to put 2 holes in them to release the steam, and that hot air can get in, and it's going to finish dry out the inside. And we're going to pop them back in there for about 15 minutes. The puff shells are done, and as you can hear, they're crispy, but they're not going to remain crispy. These batch came out first, and they came out just as crispy, and they're very soft inside, and they hold their shape, and this is what I want when I'm making Trinidad tuna puffs. So we're going to leave this to cool down, and then we're going to fill them. We're going to go ahead now, and we're going to fill them up.
How detailed and how easy was this? If you've learned something or enjoyed making tuna puffs with me today, comment below and let me know what you have learned. Subscribe to the channel, which is a good way to help me to grow. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend by sharing. And at this time, I encourage you to watch some more of my recipe videos Thank you for joining and see you in another one of my recipes.